Bath can secure a home semi-final. They and Newcastle underway at the Rec. We'll keep you in touch with that one. You can watch it as well across on Discovery Plus. But our focus of attention here, Mattioli Woods, Welford Road, Leicester and Quins, Marcus Smith, and we're underway. The first carry on a day when he's going to have to carry a lot for Kyle Hathrop. Stewart.
Hold it.
Smith. He's got Tyrone Green for company, but Smith went the other way, and that's brilliant to involve Caden Murley, but...
We've mentioned about Leicester and how they've tried to advance their game. They wouldn't have been playing from this distance a while ago. This is what Harlequins were famous for, getting to that wide channel, seeing if the defence had dropped back and had come up. If not, kick it in behind, but it does make it a little bit easier to attack off.
You just see a couple of little good blocks as well. Guys coming back for Quins and just standing in the channel. It's not obstruction, you like to hold your position, but it makes it difficult then to shift defensively, especially against someone like Marcus Smith who's got a step on him.
Montoya speared in very quickly into the arms of Jack Van Poortvliet. And once more, Hathrop, Pollard.
Just wonder whether this wider play from Leicester and against a team that's so good at jackling and have turned it over, whether it's trying to lull them in, thinking that they will have trained all week trying to stop Leicester's big ball carriers early on. Just take that opportunity to make a big tackle. The psychology of that away from them.
Well, the first challenge for Harlequins is to match Leicester's physicality, toe-to-toe, shoulder-to-shoulder on the game line at the tackle. They've said all week they can't afford to stand off, and when the opportunity arises, grab it. And they have the ball now with Baxter. Smith. An aerial test for Leicester's defence, a run for Cameron Anderson, but it was much too close to Freddie Stewart.
He's a man that can take ball under huge pressure, absolutely no pressure on him there at all.
You talk about Leicester's wide play. I think it's plagiarism, if you want the honest truth. It's basically how Bristol played against them here. They go really wide to set him up. That time they don't go too wide, but they keep going to the channel. And then if you think about what happened 10, 15 minutes later, as you said, Ben, defensively Quins think it's going wide, but then they hit you through the middle. You break teams through the middle, you score tries. It's much more difficult to go round them.
Over 15.
Jack Walker's throw over the 15, so up come Leicester's defence, and Beard and Green, and brilliant footwork from Green, and dives up to the 22. Jeltema, not so good, as he tried to connect with Northmore.
Radwan does well there not to get attracted into Green's tackle, because if there's quick ball and they come round the corner, lovely little bit of play, great throw initially, Green's footwork's good, half gets away from Kata, but now Radwan doesn't go in, make sure he's in position, and that's enough pressure to force the error.
I think that's what's been so impressive about the improvement of their defensive structure, Leicester. They don't get their wingers to bite in anymore, and why would you when you've got Hassel, Collins and Radwan? They can stay relatively tight and then drift to the outside. They did it really well last week against Bristol. We're seeing it again today.
So you set, come up there.
Yeah, Leicester managing to largely shut down Bristol's attack last Sunday as much as you can shut down the Bears' attack. They were hard and fast and physical in defence, the high work rate, and he's made a difference. Dave Kidwell coming in, and particularly around the breakdown at the tackle. We heard Michael Checker throwing some herograms his direction after the game last weekend.
Advantage, tyre collapse.
Freebie for Leicester, they can play here.
Playing advantage.
Hathrop again off the base, Jack Van Poortvliet, but we will return from where we started.
Tight head too long. Lovely, Nick. Falls flat on his stomach.
Scrum penalty goes against that man, but although Leicester come back for the penalty, if Van Poortvliet and Pollard had hooked up here, there could very well have been a big break for Leicester. Well, they've missed the touch.
Yeah, Pollard instead to Murley, who finds Green, and off Green goes again. He's looked up for it early on. Woodward, one of Leicester's breakthrough players this season, the centre Joseph Woodward, and he held on to it as he was brought down.
Yeah, this is the break opportunity that Van Poortvliet doesn't quite spot Pollard. Watch Pollard here on the angle he's on. Poortvliet picks and goes. He's banged through there on a really good line in behind Marcus Smith. Would have been a side-on tackle at best, and then an offload opportunity. Pollard's fuming.
I think he was claiming there was a hand in the tackle, wasn't he? Maybe he did see him, just couldn't quite get it there.
Well, he had an uncomfortable afternoon against Sale, Marcus Smith. He was rather outshone by George Ford. But here comes another test against Andre Pollard today.
Cunningham South just floating in and around that pod. We've got Marcus Smith, Northmore, and there's the big man. That's who they want to get on the front foot.
Cunningham South. Kenningham waited. Jaltema slipped as he got the ball away, but Dombrandt and co can still work hard to win this back for Harlequins and Herbst. Smith back in position. Oh, and he uses Kenningham. Kenningham from 6 to 7 today. Will Evans, former Leicester player Will Evans, interestingly amongst the replacements. We will see him later and all of his energy. Dombrandt over the 22. Baxter away quickly and picked up by Lamasatelli. Chandler Cunningham South on this near left-hand side in splendid isolation. Instead, Smith went the other way, and Leicester will have a testing little defensive lineup.
He wouldn't have wanted to surrender possession there, but they're going backwards, and there's a chance if they come, having not been knocked back on a phase. He just puts all the pressure now on Montoya's throwing. Needs Cunningham South to get real height. Leicester might well go over the top here, so they need their centres running. Oh, they just gifted it at the front to Liebenberg.
Yeah, shorter line out, simplest option, shortest route. Hatherall did some getting through a shed load of work early on in for the injured Ollie Cracknell today. Another glimpse of Jack Van Poortvliet's energetic, controlling, threatening best against Bristol. He nabbed one of Leicester's 5 tries as well. He's really reaching peak form at the right time this season.
Yeah, he's starting to come back into it now, isn't he? Takes a while to get over a leg break, as we saw with him, but his sniping and picking around the breakdown has been really good recent weeks.
Jaltema, and it's nicely done by Smith. Nice and flat, and Northmore hammering away. Behind Walker, back to Smith, and Anderson, the winger, seeing what pickings there might be in midfield. Walker, shaped to use Cunningham South. Smith, Lamasatelli, laid backwards by a double Leicester tackle.
He's just nudged a bit late there, Smith, in the back. He's struggling now.
Yeah, he's not comfortable, Marcus Smith.
Take him back in.
See him
Tackle outside,
wandering away, screen right.
No. Use it. No, Drew. Thank you.
Jaltema's kick, a long way from his best. And then it was knocked forward, and then there was an offside.
There's the pass.
Just ask me, please, because I said it wasn't.
I think it's actually the foot on the calf, is it? Maybe.
Yeah.
As he goes down, Hayes' boot maybe goes in on the calf, or maybe he rolls his ankle.
Yeah, okay, we'll stop.
It's actually Finn Baxter's boot that catches him.
Quinn's 10 receiving treatment.
No, it's Hayes.
Hayes
stands on the inside of his foot, and then he rolls his ankle.
A bit tidy. That was very close. Yeah,
a lot of heavy medicinal tape being applied to that right ankle.
Yeah, you just need a bit more.
Wouldn't fancy Hayes standing on my foot, would you, Nick? If that's any part of me.
So, Woody, that injury to Marcus Smith is just an accident.
Okay.
Joe Hayes just caught his ankle, but no foul play involved.
Okay, spot on, thank you.
That's the voice of David Rose, by the way. Haven't said hello to Rosie yet today. Jack Makepeace and Jamie Lee, the assistants with the flags.
How many? Yeah, give me numbers.
They're not having much luck, are they, with injuries to their halfbacks?
Danny Wilson, Nick Evans having to operate this week without Will Porter as he recovers from a nasty bang to the face. Danny Kerr now hampered by a knee injury. Jaltema, the third choice scrum half, and he's now injured.
I just wonder how it will affect his kicking game. such control on that short kicking game in particular.
Woodward pops it up for Catter. First time Leicester have been in Harlequins 22. Pollard, Hassel-Collins runs into Kenningham. Kenningham quickly over the top. Brilliant work from Kenningham. If Evans isn't playing, Kenningham gets you. When they're both playing, you're in big trouble.
It's textbook, isn't it? Really good. Throws him to the floor, comes into the tackle. Does he release? Throws him. Yeah, hands off. Well, put his hands on the floor a little bit, but I think you get away with that scenario.
I don't think he was holding his weight. I think he just missed the ball. Didn't put his hands to hold his weight in a low position. That's his second one already, Kenningham.
Thank you.
That's the danger for Leicester, who aren't used to playing as wide as they are at the moment. It's not been a tradition of theirs. And suddenly just how quickly you have to resource the breakdowns in a different area of the field, particularly when you're a little bit exposed and you don't have the support with you.
22 turnovers now this season for Kenningham. Evans has got 19.
They should get a golden boot, shouldn't they, of some kind, or like a truffle.
Do you reckon yeah, a little golden truffle pig. Anyway, Cunningham South. That'll catch on, and we'll claim it, Austin. Our idea.
Dombrandt's got it here.
Oh my goodness, Dombrandt's gone through the middle, and Anderson was not far away, and Murley doing what he could to stay in touch. Loose ball, Jaltema, Baxter.
Barney's not rolling.
Oh, and then Herbst buffeting his way through.
Crucial from Montoya there. If Herbst gets that off the floor, I think it's a try, but Dombrandt has his hand on the ball before his break for ages. He can always take his hand back off again if the mark's there. But Liebenberg, his eyes go to who he's supporting from that guard position, and Dombrandt just checks where his eyes are before he lifts the ball. Brilliant, he's so good at that.
He's also got to check that he's the last man, though, hasn't he? If there's someone bound on behind him, he can't do it. Like you said, that tackle there from Montoya stopped a certain try under the posts. Swings his right arm through. Here he is.
Watch him now. Hand on the ball, eye up. Is anyone there? It's Chesham, isn't it? No. Chesham switched off a little bit, gets the offload away, and then the Montoya tackle, crucial. Brilliant from Dombrandt.
Quinn's that close. Oh, it was a loose line out. The business of taking the points when they're on offer underneath the post has gone out of fashion, but that's what you run the risk of doing.
It's a missed touch, I think.
Murley, Green. His feet are warming up nicely early on. Jaltema, Herbst. Smith, how's that right foot? Well, that seems solid enough. He's got lots of height, lots of distance. Brilliant competition for the ball between Anderson and Leicester's fullback Freddie Stewart, that Stewart just about wins.
Anderson does so well there because he gets up before Stewart and just hangs in the space that Stewart wants to come into. Stewart did well to hold on to that ball as they landed.
He's not happy, Marcus Smith, Nick. He's limping in the backfield.
Green had to wait while Anderson got back, and then he got walloped.
Use it.
Can't see anyone down below. They've got Jamie Benson as the replacement fly half for Smith, as Jaltema fumbles it backwards, thankfully for him.
Oh, he's had a brilliant bounce, hasn't he?
Funnily enough, the thing about Smith, I don't think attacking-wise it's as big a problem for them, but defensively, when Kenningham made that turnover penalty before, Marcus Smith was quite upright, and it's because he's struggling to turn the corner in defence and get into the defensive line. He's almost having to do it on his outside foot. He's got no mobility in the inside foot.
Jamie Benson and Jake Murray, 21-year-old scrum half, who is all set for a Premiership debut today. Down below us in the little red Leicester dugouts.
Take
a big Leicester line-out gathered by Cameron Henderson. Leicester not too badly hit injury-wise at the moment, but Michael Checker says they have put a line through George Martin's name. He's been out since the Six Nations in February. We're unlikely to see him again.
You're bound on him
this season.
So therefore, you're part of the maul. You cannot charge the line.
There's that new law.
New laws
that's come in this year. If you're involved in the maul, you can't detach, as Herbst is there, and play the line
down when he's part of the maul.
So if that had been one of the players in the guard position, not actually bound, that would have been legal. But because Herbst was part of the maul, he can't do that.
So if you're part of the maul, you can't charge the line.
Can I go back to my earlier question? Why don't teams kick 3 points when they're slap bang in front of the post anymore?
George Ford did yesterday.
You got any more questions?
No, that was perfectly
the bonus point.
Thank you. Okay. I'll shut up and just shout out names. Pollard. That was not forwards.
Bring your feet up.
Okay, yeah, there was a big gap.
Yeah, that's fine. Just bring it up then.
He'll get to 50 games as a Tiger, Andre Pollard, before he heads back to Pretoria, or at least he hopes to. This is his 49th.
Right, let's go, please. Well done.
I don't know if he'd be happier at the two coaches with the start, actually. 15 minutes in, almost 65% possession for Quins, but we've had one or two almost chances. Leicester just don't seem to have the same energy that we saw from them last week. That might be a concern. Michael Checker
had no field position. They only have 13% of the game in the Quins half so far.
Quins 65% possession.
Use it, stationary.
Remains 0-0. Woodward on the gain line, and Catter as well. That was very strong defence, but Leicester get away with it. And Woodward dinked to the left-hand side. Cunningham South was there, and he slides into touch underneath the big stand.
It's a positive outcome for Woodward in the kick. He just pulls it a bit, doesn't he? Catches it off the ankle. Probably just wants it to go a little bit straighter, given the opportunity to chase onto it. Such a good tackle from Northmoor, dropping Catter like that, but then they get the ball out the tackle. Yeah, he just kicks it a little bit too far to the side, doesn't he? Otherwise, there would have been an opportunity there to regather. This is a great offload off the floor.
Pressure on Montoya. It's too far out for Quins probably not to compete, though they will be worried about Leicester's driving game. They go right to the front.
Snapped back by Chesham. Squirreling in there. A rather large South American, Julian Montoya.
Okay, so Vonnick's backs up.
Penalty on the way, so Van Poortvliet can give it a go. Woodward, what a pass. Woodward finding some space. Stewart, and he's got Radwan. Side to side, Leicester score first.
That's a brilliant score, and it's all made from the pass and Woodward's reaction to it, and then Freddie Stewart buys as much time as possible for Adam Radwan with a little pump dummy pass before he actually releases it. And Radwan lifts his feet up in the corner. Here's the move, the drive play, shortens the defensive line. That long ball across the face of Catter. Woodward takes the ball as far wide as he can, and Freddie Stewart just makes sure that Murley bites on him with that little pump, and then Radwan lifts the toes as he goes over.
It's a pass from the base, isn't it, that causes all the problem. Puts Tyrone Green in a whole world of pain. But this has been the story of Quins, actually, this season in the red zone. Defensively, not committing to try and close the ball off. There's an opportunity there, didn't quite take it. We'll get another look after this.
Well, it's a still East Midlands day. Nothing to bring that ball back, so it's a 5-0 score.
I mean, it's a nightmare for this guy, because if he goes forward and misses, he gets blamed. But that pass really puts him under a lot of pressure. It means they stop all their line speed, but you've got to hit somebody. If you come forward in that position, you've actually got to get to the ball. What you can't do is run past it and end up in no man's land, because it makes the finish a lot easier. Still took some finish in mind.
I think that hold from Stewart's massively important, because Murley had actually got caught by Woodward's feet, so Murley's racing to the sideline, and Stewart just allows him to believe he might have a chance of tackling the fullback. And as soon as he does that, then the pass goes. So he just checks Murley's race across to the wide channel. Without that, Murley might have fancied getting to Radwan.
Smith's restart gathered in by Ollie Chesham, back from injury as a starter last weekend. The 5 Premiership games he started this season, Leicester have won them all. Here's a 6th, taken by Green, who not only catches but twirls in the air to make sure the ball's on the right side. Dombrand. Northmoor. Beard, his centre mate, chasing it hard, but Pollard was there first. How low did Northmoor go? Almost subterranean by the time the tackle came in.
Use it.
Looking for truffles.
Use it. 9. No.
Poortvliet with the responsibility. He's getting some good distance on his kicks.
His kicking game's always been good, Nick, in terms of distance and height and hang time. Something that Steve Poortvliet obviously worked a lot with him at in the early days here with Wigglesworth. There's a component as a 9 now that it's an absolute must-have.
Give the gap. Don't creep.
Jack Kenningham was just standing off that line out, hoping at some point, maybe around now, he'd be delivered the ball, but Quins have got to get the basics right first of all. Pollard swinging it to Woodward again. He's got Stewart not far away. Hassel-Collins with the extra pace. Anderson slid in. Rodrigo Iskro suspended. Cassius Cleves amongst the long-term injured. Well, missing the best part of half a first team you could make a claim for when it comes to selection, Quins. Stewart, oh, that might be trouble. That might be trouble for Cam Anderson.
Yeah, Woody's taken him in the air there.
Yeah, okay.
I genuinely think he is making an effort to go up and take the ball, but Stewart just owns the space so much better.
Just bear with me.
Gets so much more height, Stewart.
I think he's too far away.
I think we just need to have a quick look at this one.
That's fine, no problem.
Because he's not in a realistic position to catch that ball.
I think it's highly speculative, the jump. He's miles away.
Here comes the first picture, full speed, Woody.
I think he ends up with a yellow for this.
He's not trying to tackle him, but he's jumping from too big a distance to be able to get up as high as the opposite number.
Woody,
yeah,
those are the best pictures we've got for you.
Yeah, that's fine. So
his arms are up to take the ball, aren't they?
He's jumped very early, never gets at the same height as Leicester Tigers 15. So we've got foul play. He's tackled him in the air and he lands on his back. So I'm on a yellow card. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Where's it? Okay.
It's clumsy, and it's led to a yellow.
It's also clumsy for his own personal safety, because the distance he jumps from, he knows he's going to get hit high in the body, so he could have potentially get a hip in the head or, you know, a knee in the face. His own personal safety is crazy. Look how far away he jumps from.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with competing, but there's got to be a realistic opportunity of winning it.
Well, when he's got, like, it's not deliberate, he's going to catch that ball where his arms are, but that's not good enough anymore. You have to be aware of the surroundings around you, and you have to check with your eyes. You can't, the old days of saying, oh, my eyes were on the ball, you can't just have your eyes on the ball anymore. You have to be weighing up whether you've got a genuine shot.
Liebenberg to Hatherell, and then Pollard swings it back, and Hassel-Collins, it's opening up here for Leicester. Great work from Beard to slow it down. Defensive work of Beard and Northmore so far, so important.
And turn it over. Hassel-Collins just trying to get Beard to turn his left foot forward so he could turn the accelerator on round the corner. Defensively, very good from Beard.
Use it.
Leicester have been using that setup play, haven't they, in the last couple of months?
That's anyone's. It remains Harlequins and Jaltema. Chatting with Leicester's backs and attack coach Peter Hewitt in a moment or two.
Wait.
Long clearance by Smith, gathered by Stewart. Pollard, Hassel-Collins once more. Woodward to his left. Hassel-Collins creating space all on his own. Poortvliet keeps things going. Pollard took the hit, got back up, went again, 6 metres short. Hatherell. Freddie Stewart part of this line. So too Hayes. Cunningham South tried to wrap him up, and as a result, Leicester had to hold on.
Huge moment from Dombrant there. Leicester totally dominant on the front foot. they get quick ball from that ruck. I think they're walking in for a try, but Dombrandt with a miracle turnover.
Marcus,
We'll have a chat with Peter once we've seen the replay.
Survives that first contact from Montoya.
Let's have a chat with Peter Hewitt. Peter, the anatomy of your first try, what did you enjoy about it? What the kind of work that's gone into that?
Oh, I think firstly, mate, obviously we're backing our skills there, and what a finish from Rudwan in the corner. Like, you know, we want to give those guys with ability and speed opportunity, and when they get it, they finish.
And what about Adam Radwan? He's made some impact since arriving around Christmas, hasn't he?
Can't fault him, mate. Been outstanding. Comes in every day, willing to learn. And mate, he's getting better. And great guy around the group. And hopefully, you know, we can push him further.
Huey, we're seeing so much more attacking stuff from Leicester over the last few weeks. But when you're playing against Harlequins and their jackal threat, we've seen a couple of turnovers. Do you just recognise that you are going to make a couple of turnovers during the game, but it's worth it for the payoff?
Oh, mate, I definitely like less turnovers. Like, it's something we spoke about through the week. These guys are good over the ball. If we want to move the ball, we've got to be better. We're not happy with the intensity we're at the moment, mate, particularly around the ruck and the tackle. Just way too many unforced errors and just turning cheap ball over at the ruck when there's opportunity.
Thanks, Peter.
Thanks, guys.
Only try of the match so far, scored by Adam Radwan 10 minutes or so ago. Quins at the moment operating without Cameron Anderson while he serves his yellow card. 6 minutes left on that.
Stationary.
Tyrone Green stationed on the right wing, but Smith comes to the left looking for Murley. Where's the bounce taking this ball out?
Take it back into the half, no 50-22.
Good kick, wasn't it? Set up, he's already had a look. It's more difficult from that side of the field for a right footer to get the accuracy, because you feel the pressure from your opposite number or whoever's chasing you inside, and they get a lot closer to your foot. It's always in your mind. This side of the field, it's a much easier kick. Got a lot more time, a lot more protection, so it's a really nice piece of skill there.
Liebenberg comes down, took a bit of a clattering as he did, but brought the ball with him safely.
Use it!
Distance again to the halfway.
Time off. Quins 2 needs to receive treatment.
We're going to have is it Jack Walker who is in need of some treatment?
Yes, mate. That's fine. I've gone instantly time off.
Nathan Jabulu is Quins' replacement hooker once again today. This is where we think he took a bit of a bang, Jack Walker.
Just gets his head slightly on the wrong side, doesn't he?
All good, Jay?
No foul play in that, Woody.
Spot on. Keep the end of the line.
We've said all along that this is a game Quins cannot lose today. Their playoff insurance policy has expired. Safety net gone, second chances gone, and they're playing like a team who know that.
Tough for Walker here. He missed his last throw. Now he's just had a shoulder injury or a neck injury, and he's got to hit his darts again. They make it nice and easy at the front for him.
It's a big old Ernie Herbst. Alex Dombrandt calling for it, suggesting that Jaltema goes in and provides the link when it's needed, and now Dombrandt goes in and does the job himself. Northmore on his marks. Murley chasing. Pollard might be favourite for this. Well, he ought to have been. It went backwards off him, and Leicester have it with Montoya.
It's on to go wide here.
Pollard. Kick pass for Hassel-Collins.
That was taken back in. Yeah. Out on the floor.
Taken back into the 22, because it's played off there, and then it's kicked straight off.
Crossfield
the
kicks
line
it
out
back
is
into
where
the 22.
he kicks it from.
And then out on the floor. Oh.
So the crossfield kick doesn't count.
Same phase, so...
Yeah. To set up this position for Jack Walker and his mates again. This time he goes long and finds Cunningham South nicely, opens up the pitch, and Northmore, his challenge this season to replace Andre Esterhazen. Herbst. Cunningham South. Work of Kenningham to roll Tigers players over the ball who were shouting for glory, but now they have it back, Leicester. Stewart. Mr. Ice Cream Cool.
He'll have enjoyed that, Stewart, won't he? Cunningham South going through to try and put some pressure on him. Gives him the fake step. Rafael gets over the top, doesn't he? Really well again. Here's a little step. Come on. No thanks.
Do we have numbers, please? Yeah, don't close the gap. Numbers? I'm trying. Oh, yeah, try harder.
Stewart's kick, but it was Tommy Rafael's steal. That golden truffle pig would actually be well contested here, wouldn't it? Rafael, Kenningham, Evans later. It's already a trophy worth winning. Smith, he was looking at that kick like a golfer who wasn't entirely sure where it had gone. Good news is he seems to be moving around well enough, despite those early concerns about the boot on the right ankle.
What we haven't seen from him yet is him going himself with ball in hand, and you just wonder whether he has the confidence that he can do that. He can accelerate as he wants to through a gap. Everything else he's doing really, really well, but until we see that, we won't 100% know.
So, thank you.
I want to point out, by the way, that Jamie Benson's on the bench today because Jared Evans is still missing with a hamstring. Talking of those Quinn's injuries, we're talking about them. They're not throwing that up as an excuse. They know defensively, in particular, they've not been good enough over the last 2 or 3 games, conceding over 150 points.
But also, when you get strapped on the field over your boot, it's often too tight.
Knock on the bonnet.
He'd be going pins and needles and all sorts in his foot at the minute. He goes off at half-time, he'll have that taken off and a proper strapping put on, hopefully.
Equally, sometimes when you stop, it can stiffen up worse, can't it? So, just getting that balance right of treating him, but also trying to not let it stiffen.
Cameron Anderson warming himself up again. By the way, latest score from the Rec, 3 o'clock kick-off. Bath lead by 10 points to 5. Which right now would not be good enough to secure a top spot just yet. They need a full 5-point win, but time to go. Oh, and then Van Poortvliet with that sniping trademark run of his again. Saw it down at Ashton Gate last weekend. Just seen it here. Stewart, Radwan was almost itching for it. He had defenders to beat, but that is what Radwan does. Pollard. Oh, and Hayes went backwards, flipped backwards by Montoya brilliantly. And then a charging Smith. Hassel Collins, 1 step, 2 steps. And the try.
But the break from Van Poortvliet. He's got time because the scrum's gone down. There's no pressure for him to take it out early. But Cunningham South gets involved in it. He switches off completely, turns his back down that blind side. Van Poortvliet spots it, bursts through, steps inside one. All those white shirts get attracted. Leicester throw them to the other side of the field and drag all that defence over. And then it's all on the final pass.
Thoughts on that?
And just whether that goes forward, but if it doesn't, Montoya's little tap on, Nicky Smith holds, patient, drags in Marcus Smith, uses the pace and the footwork
that for you, Woody. Just
of Hassel Collins.
If I need more time.
That's all right.
I mean, the big question is, does it hit Hayes' arm? His shoulder, fine, head, fine, but does it hit the top of his arm?
Pollard's conversion is straight enough. David Rose is still having a look in the background. We'll have another look in the foreground.
Well, this will show us now, Nick. Let's see. I think it
Or does
might
it go
just...
backwards off his shoulder? He hits his shoulder.
His hands.
Fortunately for him, his momentum's forward, so it makes it look better for Leicester. If he gets tackled as that happens, he potentially goes backwards, and the ball looks like it's gone forward.
There'll be back rowers all over the country, though, shouting at Cunningham South, won't they? You're on the blind side of the scrum. The one thing you do not do is give up your blind side.
Hathaway took it in, lost it because Quins were up to no good.
7, assist tackler, clear release first.
Jack Kenningham, you win some, you lose some.
Sometimes there's an excuse for a back rower, isn't there, that they're having to scrummage so hard to make sure they don't give up ground,
down,
but because
like
it's gone down, you basically stand up and just occupy that space.
This is a good example. Stand up, make sure the blind side's covered. But what Van Poortvliet does really well is he doesn't die with possession, steps inside and keeps the ball alive.
Look at his eyes there. He's spotted that opportunity. He's eyeballing Cunningham South. It'll be one of those for Cunningham South where he feels it happening just too late and thinks, oh no, that is a big telling off in the review next week.
Good competition, backwards off Tigers.
Van Poortvliet this time snaggled.
Out you come now.
Snaggled a word, I don't know.
Snuggled is.
Snuggled, he's snuggled.
If you can stop doing that with Ben, that'd be better.
No!
Slow ball.
That's Tigers.
I must have tell you wondered if it might be Quinn's ball, but it's still Leicester's.
Yes.
Fresh from the snuggle, Jack Van Poortvliet.
He's getting some ridiculous height on the kick, isn't he? Great catch.
Yeah, by Anderson, who's back with us.
Line is not rolling.
Jaltema swiftly gets beyond the clutches of Henderson. Cunningham South, Dombrand just popped it up. Anthony Woodthorpe could not have been better positioned to declare that flat. Anderson got the kick away despite the attention of Hayes. Pollard with time to find his spot on the terrace down below us. Well, once we're done here, we will be cruising 5 junctions down the M1 to catch the final Gallagher Premiership match of the day. You can be sure Saints and the Bears are keeping a close eye here on this right now, as will Gloucester and Exeter, those two stars of our Sunday afternoon King's Home matinee. The race for the playoffs gathering pace. And the post-game show as well, the rugby review, will tie the weekend together on Sunday tea time.
Breakdown on the far side.
It's been a big week for him, telling us that this season will be his last. What I found interesting last week, though, was that lovely chat he and Jack Van Poortvliet had with us after the win at Ashton Gate. And I think it was Craig said, what is Jack Van Poortvliet doing well at the moment? And Ben Young said, what he's always been the best at, which is that sniping around the fringes. He's got the confidence back, Oz, to give that a go.
I think it's very magnanimous of Ben to say that, because arguably he's one of the best snipers of all time, isn't he, around the fringes?
He gets cleared legally, but then as he goes backwards,
this guy's just got to refine that confidence in his, in his body, which I think he's found.
So no foul play.
Last week was one of his better games that we've seen for a long time from him. And he's a real threat, as we've seen down that short side. Backs himself, and as a 9, if you're going to make a break, you can't be in 2 minds, you've got to commit to it.
No foul play.
You're in 2 minds if you think your leg's going to go. So now that's gone, he can just crack on, can't he? It's a question.
Yes. Thank you. Jaltema to Northmore to Smith. Dombrand offered himself instead. Pace continued to be provided in midfield. Baxter. Marcus Smith. Northmore. Oh, and now Hammond, and that's nice. That's got a nice weight on it, and how well Stewart did. However, just hooked it back into the arms of Smith, who accelerates towards the 10-metre line. Now then, taken by Murley.
Yeah, it was. I just got told it was touch.
Kind of feel 5 minutes to half-time that Harlequins deserve more than the nothing that they've got so far. They're playing better than that, aren't they?
A little kick through from Hammond, very nearly got the charge down to go with it.
Might get something here with Green, or maybe not. Lost forwards.
No advantage, lost forward. No advantage, lost forward.
They're doing quite a lot, Nick, but they're not getting to the corner. They're not stopping people. So they're sort of going through the motions a little bit too deep in their attack play. So they end up sacrificing 4 or 5 runners in front of defenders. And by the time the ball comes to an inflection point, there's 3 defenders in front of that guy. So they're not actually being direct enough to give themselves the opportunity to go wide. I used to hate that phrase, you've got to earn the right to go wide. But in a lot of ways you do. This guy, if he stands and delivers and doesn't become a threat, everyone will just keep shifting off him.
Scored 4 tries at home to Sale last weekend. That it didn't come close to winning the game was the big concern this week. General feeling over the course of the season is that defence has actually pushed on.
All good, Jay. Thanks for the comment
With
back there.
Jason
I didn't see
Gilmore
that.
now looking after it underneath his baseball cap, but they were nowhere near the physicality needed last weekend, and they've talked about that.
They just do not look as confident as they have in the past. You know, their attack is, you know, they do some nice stuff, but it's not as cutthroat that you think every time they start an attack they've got a potential to score. Maybe you know, they still haven't fully replaced Esther Hazen, though that guy's added will add a bit of that, but it's almost just slightly hesitant, their attack, compared to what it was when they used to just back themselves and go for it.
Ready to score from the wreck, by the way. Bath have scored another try, so it's Bath 17, Newcastle 5, 3 tries, 1 more, and they will be guaranteed to be back at the wreck in the playoffs. And then it will become a chase for 3 remaining places. Woodward, Pollard, Radwan, no way through. Interesting to see Leicester using Radwan as much as they do in midfield.
Big frustration when he was at Newcastle, how he only seemed to stay out on the wing.
That's nicely done. Stewart gets it away to the other winger, Hassel Collins. He's chasing a second. And the bouncing ball was kind enough for Quins, and that was determined stuff and great defending from Murley, who'd come in off the left wing to make sure he was where he was needed.
You asked the question about Radwan in the midfield. It's Leicester's set-up play now. They do it all the time. So you just watch, he tracks Pollard. Hassel Collins does the same, and all they're waiting is for the corner to either step in or shift out. So he can either give him a shoulder ball or he can throw it across him. On that occasion, I think Pollard picked the wrong option, but it's their standard set-up play now from any set piece. They'll throw it wide. We'll try and get to the 12 or 13 channel, and then the ball will be in Pollard's hands. He'll be given the decision and the ammunition to actually fire the gun.
That's Tommy Raffel heading off for a head injury assessment, triggered by the electronic gum shield, we've been told. So Amika Ilioni is on in his stead. Meantime, Hathorn with the take at the line-out. Time ticking away at the end of this first half. All the points, Leicester points so far.
I thought it was off.
You just watch this line-out. We talk about the little details in rugby. This isn't a perfect setup of a mini-maul. Liebenberg wants to bounce out of it, look like he's driving, but because they get knocked back and it's a little bit unclean, watch the effect it has on everyone else. Harlequins can come forward much further. That means they're under massive pressure in midfield. So just getting those details right at the beginning of a line-out move makes all the difference to the backs. Liebenberg shouldn't be shifting back, having to wrestle his way out of that maul.
Newcastle's job down in the southwest not made any easier by a red card for Louis Brown. So down to 14, trailing 17-5. If you'd like to watch that match, by the way, it's across on Discovery Plus.
I always think, like in NFL, there you should have a checkout play. So if you've called it and you realise that the setup's not on your terms, you have a checkout. So if you have an Esther Hazen or if you want an old timer, a Freddie Tuolangi, you cancel the play and give them the ball and say, just cause havoc.
They've certainly got Kata.
Yep.
Crouch. Bind.
Harlequin scrum.
Left of the fail. You've got to aim a bit higher there.
It's a good little battle, isn't it, between Baxter and Hayes on this side of the scrum. He's enjoying it. Baxter might feel he's just maybe starting to get a bit of purchase there. Certainly a couple of Leicester's put-ins, the scrum has gone down and the referee's allowed them to play away.
Crouch.
Into the 40th minute.
Bind. Set. Stay high. Stay high.
Good position from Hayes there.
It's played away.
Dombrandt off a retreating scrum. Smith looking for as much distance as he can find.
Yeah, run for the line.
Fortunately for Harlequins, the ball got to the number 8's feet really quickly, because you just saw as Hayes got a shift on, Baxter's hips started to come out towards the touchline. When you're absorbing, it's hard. All Hayes has to do is go right through you, but you see he sort of splits between Walker and Baxter, and Baxter's hips come out. But fortunately, Harlequins have one of the better controllers at the base in Dombrandt.
Final play of the half taken by Ilioni. Pollard, Woodward, Kata. Ooh, Stewart maybe just got in the way a little bit there, but Hassel-Collins and Radwan can still combine. Henderson.
Pollard's down.
And
Dombrandt
and Chesham having a scrap as well, and players having to separate them at the moment. All sorts of things going on. Pollard down, players fighting. There's a stray boot on the pitch.
There's a big clear out in all of that, I think. First of all, this is Pollard and how he got injured. That's fine, he's fully committed. It's a big shot. I see why he stayed down, but turnover opportunity for Harlequins here. And they very, very nearly got the turnover. Maybe a slight clock roll there, and it's the hit from Hatherall that comes in, but you can see a little bit of wrestling on the far side.
Okay. We don't need any of that. All right. We can't end the game on that. So it's going to be your scrum as your last in possession. But that's fine. It's your scrum, last in possession. So all the information I've got is that we've got players not letting go on the floor.
No, that's perfect. But my man is about to do a
no foul play, but it's just that he did like the clear out.
And he's tackling from the ground from number 7. Okay. It's a clean break.
That's fine. Your scrum, Jimmy. It's going to be their scrum here. We can't end the game on that.
Montoya, part of the big changes over the summer. No him, no Andre Pollard, no Ben Youngs, no Michael Checker. This team will look and sound a bit different next season. There'll be other players sorting this out, Austin.
Here's the play. Looks fine to this point. Radwan's been good, hasn't he, stepping through tackles. As we go again, does JVP get tackled from the floor by somebody?
I just don't think he liked the clear out, did he?
No.
From Chesham there. Maybe felt he hit him too far past the ball. But because the referee stopped the game and there wasn't a knock-on or anything, we will get one more play.
I understand what you're saying.
Look, Leicester has set up again behind the scrum in exactly that same formation. They've got Radwan behind Pollard. Pollard's not going to be the first receiver. It'll go to Woodward, maybe even Kata if they can get the ball away far enough. And then it's just a foot race to try and get to the 13 channel. Oscar Beard gets put under a lot of pressure here. He has to make a good decision defensively. Let's see what he does.
Van Poortvliet, Pollard back on his feet, he's given it away, and here goes Northmore. Quins had to wait until the 44th minute of this first half, but finally the breakthrough, hand delivered by a double South African World Cup winner.
Well, if you want the energy to go in at half-time, having had no points, this is exactly what you want. Gift wrap by Pollard. Overcomplicate the play, the timing's all shot. Radwan hasn't quite got enough time to get back and get there, and Quins will go in now at half-time with a huge amount of positive energy.
Again, it's those little details Austin said about pulling out of moves that you've pre-called when it's not quite right, but that ball hits Pollard on the shoulder, almost behind him. so he hasn't got the ability to keep his eyes facing forward. He almost has to look back over his shoulder, and then he still follows through with the pass, but it's blind, and that man takes full advantage. Brilliant finish.
Well, 40 minutes in the Gallagher Premiership when Bath have taken huge strides towards securing first place, and Leicester look like they might be heading back to second place, but hold on, because Quins, as we head off for half-time, have just put a little bit of a question mark in everyone's minds. Radwan, Hassel-Collins and Northmore, the try scorers. Chris Ashton with Ugo shortly. Half-time, Leicester 12, Harlequins 7. Harlequins all of a sudden are back in the bum fight as well, and he'll be back in the middle of it soon enough. Tommy Raffel has passed his HIA, but that try just before half-time for Luke Northmore has just put an extra bit of shade on this.
Yeah, Leicester need a really big first 10 minutes of this half. Get some points on the board, because Quinn should have all the positive energy currently.
Start taken by Oscar Beard. Beard and Northmore amongst those who impressed for Harlequins in that first half. A lot of hard work without any reward right up until the last moment. Jaltena's had a few of those, a few sticky-fingered moments.
Yeah, to box kick, you need to pick up the ball.
Elite level
advice,
tactical analysis.
That's why I should go into coaching, Nick.
Wow.
If you want to kick it, you have to have the ball in your hands.
Where can you go? Where would you like to go? Smith, meantime, where's he going? Goodness me. That was not a Leicester alleyway he wanted to go down.
Really short dead ball area at Matty Hollywood's Welford Road.
You're a Quins coach currently. What are you doing? Right, guys, let's go out, show some control. Let's just clear our lines, clear exit. No, let's fumble it straight away and then pass it back to your mate, who's now going to step someone and get tackled on the line. Everything you said at half-time, completely ignored. And the main reason why I will never, ever go into coaching.
Van Poortvliet, Pollard with Leicester from that line out, threatening. Radwan again popping up in midfield to find Stewart and Hassel-Collins. He's lassoed by Cameron Anderson. Beyond Hatherall to Chesham. Smith, Nicky Smith. Chesham takes evasive action. Stewart, Hassel-Collins. Tommy Raffel was half an option for half a second, but Leicester still building with Hatherall. No.
Knocked it forward into someone.
He's just looked jittery, hasn't he, Hatherall? He hasn't quite committed to the line. He's timing just slightly off all day. They've definitely tightened up around the breakdown, Quins, making sure they've got eyes on JVP, but what that's meant is getting to the corners a lot easier for Leicester. Yeah, he just takes his eyes off it, Ben, doesn't he? People don't run that line as much anymore, like out of the line side. They don't blindside people. Do you know what I mean, Nick? So they're always in fair view for the defender. So much easier to tackle them, but if they're coming from wide to close, it's really tough tackle.
The one to have is a straight runner behind and allow the 9 to choose between the guy that's running the hard line, blindsiding the defender, and the guy that's running straight, so that if the defender steps in, you've got some option there.
Use it!
Luke Northmore with some short, hard but important meters. Chesham had to give some ground there. Jaltena's kick. And he's gone again.
He's done it again. This time he's out.
Knocks himself out.
That's the main concern. Freddie Stewart has come down.
This will be a red card,
thankfully,
as well.
safely.
So we're looking at potential foul play.
Unfortunately, he looks in a bad way, and
so, Rosie,
that is the primary importance at the moment, but he's going to get a red card to go with it.
Let's have a listen.
The player is actually, you might not be able to check, be able to check the actual actions, just not the aftermath. So
Woody, he's never in a position to catch the ball at all.
So if you just want to chuck the actions onto the screen, please. Just talk about attention. Yeah.
Because of the nature of the injury to the Quins player, we're not going to show the action on the screen there for you.
Yeah, okay.
But what I can say to you is he's never in a realistic position to catch the ball.
Yeah.
He does make contact with the Leicester fullback, which causes him to come down
How does he land? Just to differentiate between whether it's a yellow, double yellow and a red, or just a straight red.
So he lands on his side, would he? So he doesn't land on his head or neck.
So we're looking at a second yellow, which will be a red card.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, so second yellow, red card.
Well, they're the technicalities. First and foremost, however, the health of Cameron Anderson, who by the looks of things looks as if he's still out, and they've brought on the gas and air, and this is a really worrying moment. Well, it feels the cruelest of things to do over a bloke who's not even conscious.
Unfortunately, Austin said before, I mean,
if you ask me, and
remember there might be family members watching this at home, certainly friends, so genuinely we are very worried. But Austin said when he did it the first time, he has to look after his own health apart from anything else.
He's gone hard. He's looking at the ball.
He never gets off the floor.
Well, he's now been rolled over onto his side, Cameron Anderson.
So he's probably not going to get
there. Well, they have to take an age because they don't know whether there's a neck injury in there as well, because he hasn't been responsive enough to tell them. So
and then it's done on the
just hope
how he lands. So because
this is just over caution from all the medics.
That's a yellow card offence. It's the second one to be a red.
It's just one of them, like his eyes are always on.
I understand. I don't think he entered it on purpose, but we've still got a referee.
Is it a 20-minute thing?
No.
No,
that's in the international.
It's mad, isn't it?
You're back in the Prem bomb.
Adam Jones just asking if they might get a 20-minute red card. It doesn't count in the Premiership. It's worth asking. Fair play, but no. Quins will be down to 14 for the rest of this match.
Perfectly to Alex Dombrand.
Thanks, mate.
Like you said, Nick, what we want to see first and foremost is Anderson move. Just want to see some signs that he's okay, because it was a big collision.
Yes, I fully understand what you're asking.
Well,
his legs are bent, which is a good sign.
Yeah.
But I don't want to go and make a silly penalty.
Of course.
But I think we can have a sentence with it.
Yeah. I take your point and I'll respond.
Well, on the fringes of all this, the referee Anthony Woodthorpe having a lot of conversations, first and foremost with the two captains, with Alex Dombrand, and another one with Alex Dombrand.
I don't think we make enough of how exceptional the medical teams are in this league and how they work together. All the Leicester medics are around assisting the Harlequins medics. You've got the ambulance men as well there, but they do these pitch side care courses for worst case scenarios.
It will impact you.
And the level of care to the players, when you're putting your body on the line and you know it's a dangerous sport, to know that you've got that support around you is a real help. And maybe we should all in moments like this cheer about those guys a little bit more.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I don't think we won't show it, obviously, but within 1 or 2 seconds of him hitting the floor, there was a medic holding his head.
They were on in a flash, weren't they?
Yeah. Regardless of the status of the game.
Is that fine?
They've got to have huge credit for that.
It's a mental, if you're doing the Six Nations, but then all of a sudden you change the fucking... I mean, the rest of the fucking...
Adam Jones continuing to chat about the Six Nations.
He's got to move on, hasn't he?
Wow.
Oh, no, you're good. No, you're all good. Thanks, man.
Took 4.5 seconds, we're told, from the point that Cameron Anderson hit the floor to the first medical attention being alongside Austin. 4.5 seconds. And these are Harlequins medics and Leicester medics, as Ben pointed out. Danny Wilson with his head in his hands. First thing Alex Dombrand did was to gather the team around him to call them into a huddle, because the enormity of this game remains the same for Quins as much as they're going a man down.
It's horrible. You see a mate of yours in that sort of position, you're concerned looking over, but you've still got to try and keep your mind on the game. You know it's going to be a long break, so now they're going through some drills to not only try and keep their bodies warm, but keep their minds warm as well. A little bit of an opportunity for Dombrand to go through some tactics there.
I think that's the thing you do when you take it back to the black and white, to the tactics. So you go to Jaltamer and say, actually, mate, I need your box kicking to be better. I need you to get us out of these situations. You go to Marcus Smith and you say, I need field position. I want field position off you now. you get the forwards in and say, look, we're starting to lose a few of these collisions, let's step up. You just make it very factual. I think that's a no choice. And this guy's good. I've seen him play quite a lot.
Yeah, Jake Murray, would have seen him in the Premiership Cup. This is his Premiership debut, 21. He finally gets his go after sitting unused on the bench at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium last week, but he's on for Lewis Jaltema, and he set sail on his Premiership career.
Good.
Quinn still with Jamie Benson on the bench. They've gone for a 6-2 split between forwards and backs today. Launchbury, Lauday and Evans, the back five options in the pack. Dylan Lewis strapping himself up.
Just to highlight, that's both the doctors from the rival teams working in tandem, making sure everyone else does their job in terms of ensuring that there can't be any further damage if there is a spinal issue.
That's what he said.
It's the determination of Cameron Anderson. He's had precious few Premiership opportunities over the last few years, and understandably his desire to take these opportunities, but just a little too over-eager in the first half, a little bit too over-eager in the second half. It looks like they're beginning to move him onto the stretcher, but oh goodness me.
There's also there's an experience element to chasing high ball kicks, because very rarely are they fully contested in training. You'll have bodies in and around there, but you don't want to risk your two players going up and colliding in the air for this particular reason. So it's something that you have to learn as you get more experience as a player, what you can compete for and what you can't compete for.
Cameron Anderson is carried off with the best wishes of everybody inside Mattioli Woods, Welford Road. I'm sure all of you watching this at home with us as well.
We'll just wait.
As Ben said, the good news is he's coming towards the stadium, not towards the ambulance. And then we're all looking for some positives towards that young man. Let's hope he's okay.
Yes, you can see the ambulance in the top corner. He's about 250 yards away as well from Leicester Royal Infirmary. He doesn't have to go far to get the best medical treatment.
I actually ran there, Nick, in my boots when our first daughter was born. Slipped over a few times, just like Ben up the steps before.
There's no video evidence, I didn't.
Oh yes, there is. I've seen it.
Anyway, Harlequins without Cameron Anderson, the red card for the two yellows, and Leicester with this opportunity. Chesham brings it down.
Green to floor.
Jake Murray, the new scrum half, defending to the left, but Leicester go right. Oh, brilliantly taken by Stewart.
Tyrone Green.
Yeah.
Radwan lays it back. Van Poortvliet. Oh, it's off the torso of Chesham, and Green has it.
They might want to look whether Tyrone Green's hand's in a normal place here when he goes into the Stewart tackle. I wasn't sure it was on first viewing, but I'm sure we'll get another look.
Massatelli just laying it back on a cushion. Murray, these early Premiership minutes for him.
No advantage.
There he is. Is his left hand in a tackling position, or does he slap it? He slaps it.
He knows what he's doing, but I think it's in a good position. I don't think you can pull him on that.
That first knock on, I've just seen that. His left hand is away from his body. He knocks it forward.
So we're looking at a deliberate knock on. Rosie, you want to check this?
Yeah, we're going to check this, Woody.
Yeah.
David Rose, the TMO.
So, checking the deliberate knock on by Quinn's 15.
And we're having a look at the big screen.
Yeah, I'm going to show you the first angle here now, Woody. Coming up for you in real time.
Okay.
That angle doesn't look as
bad. I'll show you another one, Woody. Just bear with me. This is the one here.
Oh, I don't know.
I think it's the way he pulls his hand in afterwards.
And one more coming up.
What's he supposed to do?
That's the worst angle.
The ball has been passed, so he's not actually in the action of trying to make the tackle. The ball's already gone.
Yeah. Okay, so saying...
I think there's cover.
So saying it's a deliberate action, it's got a wide arm, it's not in the action of the tackle.
Yeah.
We're saying the ball's gone forward, so it's a deliberate knock-on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's the outside man, so it's at least a yellow card. Can we just check whether or not there's any cover coming around
There is cover coming across, but I'll show you now, Woody.
Yes, so just that wide angle, please.
Oh, Quinn's
here's the wide angle.
Going down to 13 here.
So that pass has got a long way to go to the outside man and two players coming across.
Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of doubt there. It's not...
I think that's a good shout.
Okay.
Is it clearly a knock-on?
You're saying that you don't think the ball's clearly gone forward? Okay, yeah, understood. So just, Rosie, can you just confirm the ball has clearly gone forward? If it has gone forward, we're going to go for a yellow card, but no penalty try. If not, then we'll stick with the on-field decision of the knock-on the other way.
Just going to show you again, Woody.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, we're going to show you the wide picture here.
So you've got the best angles here.
Yeah, the ball goes forward first, but then it obviously bounces, then it goes backwards.
Okay, so you're happy it's gone forward. So it's going to be a deliberate knock-on, yellow card, no penalty try, but we've still got defence coming round it. We're a long way out, so it's a yellow card.
The ball's gone backwards.
Green doesn't help his defence, actually, with the way that he snaps his left arm back straight away.
He pulls his arm back.
It's almost as if he knows that it was somewhere that perhaps it shouldn't have been.
It was like when you were stealing biscuits out the cookie jar as a kid. You'd take them quickly, put them in your mouth and put your hand back in your pocket.
You know, you said before you didn't want to coach in case people didn't listen to a word you said.
Yes.
Why'd you commentate?
What else would I do?
God, if you're a Harlequins coach there, I think you're thinking that is a really harsh one. Sort of in the act of making the tackle.
I think the officials explained it really well. I think the fact that he's a metre away from the contact point. If he's a metre further forward and it hits his hand, I think he completely gets away with it, but he's a bit late in the tackle.
Let's think about how Harlequins defend this now without the right wing Cameron Anderson and without the fullback Tyrone Green. They are two players down in the back.
Well, the benefit now is you can stand your 9 further back, 5 metres back, so you could actually go to the short side. He can move across the field now. Anywhere on the pitch at the back foot he can stand.
I just wonder whether a sensible thing for Leicester now was have a really big scrum and go at them in the scrum, because the back row are going to be desperate to get off, so keep them honest for one, which they try to do.
Opening up here, Pollard, Radwan, his second, Leicester's third. Quinn's down to 13. It took no time at all for Leicester to profit.
It was that big scrum, holds the back row down, and that's all they're trying to do, create a one-on-one opportunity for Radwan with his pace, acceleration and footwork. And it looks like Van Poortvliet's going to go one way, he goes the other. Maybe just get a little bit tight, and Murley, as soon as he gets held there for a fraction of a second, Radwan knows he's going to be racing across and he can wrong foot him and step back on his inside.
Defensively, Quinns did really well from that scrum, Nick. Cunningham South gets off, he takes JVP, Pollard's marked by Smith, and then as you said, Murley actually had the inside line on Radwan. It's just really fast feet that steps in through the tackle area.
Pollard's kick. Start this to the right, off it goes. Nice and straight. 19-7.
TMO says he's gone forwards. He's the one with the screen. No worries, thanks, mate.
It goes forward in the air first, Woody.
Okay, that's fine.
It's hard for Quids. They're obviously in no rush to kick off. They want to run the yellow clock card down. Yellow card clock.
Keep saying it.
All the words were
and then
there.
you'll get it right.
All the words were there.
You
Ben,
order
don't
them
listen
how you
to
want
him.
them.
You were
All
just
the words were there.
You were just missing the letter L.
Don't be bullied by him.
Knock on advantage.
Laid back by Murley. Knocked on by Murley in the end.
Advantage, always under pressure. Advantage over. Well done.
Stewart wallops away. Smith. So Quinn's attacking with 13.
One out. Other side.
Dombrand. Murley and launch for his on, and he's tipped up by Henderson.
Other side. Two. Other side, team. Go left.
Well, that's beautifully done. And this is Murray. And Leicester hands over the top. Tommy Raffel.
Watch Raffel here. He knows he's going to be hit.
What is he doing?
So he fakes to go in, but he doesn't back all the way out. There he is, fakes to go in, doesn't back all the way out. And then once he's hit, he goes over the top, but Walker goes off his feet, sealing off. We hear the referees say about that matador effect where a player goes in and then backs right off, and they don't give a penalty. But if you stay over the ball when you do it, you can still force a player who's worried about getting turned over and worried about getting there in time to make that crucial mistake.
Woodward. And then Radwan again. On his own for a hat-trick, maybe. Gives it away behind Hassel-Collins. In between Stewart, moment goes.
That's what I love about Radwan. He just backs himself, just keeps going. You never know when you're going to step out of a tackle. Could he have given the ball there? Maybe, I don't know. But then the angles get cut down. Just keep going until someone brings you to ground.
Neither side's been
Marcus Smith does really well. He gets checked by Kata, bounces back out. He still doesn't look 100% comfortable with that ankle, but he gets back and makes that crucial tackle.
They switch.
Dombrand. Bundled down on the 22.
Use it.
Murray. Stewart with time. Murley does what he can. Murley now on this right wing. The absence of the red-carded Cam Anderson. Montosha. Pollard. Kata. Oh, that's nice. Kata with the step. All the style. And then the kick. Looking for Rudley. And off the post, and it's a hat-trick. Assist to the corner flag. We will check it, of course, but the corner flag with the biggest impact, and it might be a hat-trick.
Okay, so Rose on-field try. I have the ground in. We're just checking whether or not it's in touch or touching goal, potentially. It's really tight to the flag there.
Yeah, okay.
Incredible
just checking
break.
for touching goal.
When you're 2 down, you just can't afford a missed tackle, and Kata gets through, kicks into
First
the space,
here,
a little bit too much on it maybe. Oh, and it bounces off the flag. The flag's still in play. It's only if a foot goes over the line after he's actually holding the ball.
They're shoulder to shoulder.
It doesn't matter if Woodward touches that and he's out, as long as he doesn't hold it. That's a try.
The ball doesn't touch the touchline or the touching goal line. It's the corner flag. Bounces back. Stay with that field decision.
Adam Radwan with the hat-trick. What an impact he has had since arriving from Newcastle mid-season.
Oh, he touches it. It's a knock-on, is it?
It's a knock-on, so it does matter.
Is it a knock-on from Woodward?
If he touches it.
That's super close. Surely they're going to look at that again.
Rosie, okay.
Pollard's conversion, but we might want to have a look at that.
Another angle. Would you just bear with me for the kick, please,
That's
mate?
fine, we'll go time off.
Yeah.
Well, there's going to be some booing if this gets struck off.
So it's not Radwan.
No, it's Woodward, isn't it?
It's Woodward.
Does he touch that?
To see it the other angle from the front, really, wouldn't you? Just to check he actually touches it.
How unlucky is Oscar Beard? He thinks that the ball's going out. He's shepherding it, thinking he'll get the own line out. Oh, I think he misses it. No, he touches it.
No, that's a touch, isn't it?
Yeah.
It doesn't actually matter that he's out of the field of play when he touches it. It's just that it's a knock-on.
Yeah, just. Tell you what, it's a great last angle from the cameraman.
Really sorry, but there's a slight touch by Leicester 12 as he tries to bat it infield. So it's just a fingertip touch, and he goes forward from Leicester 12.
Okay, so come off Leicester 12. That's before the try line, so it's a 5-metre scrum to Quins, yeah?
Yeah.
If you're introducing your kids to a simple game,
he says it's clearly
don't introduce them to rugby union.
Yeah, that's what he says. So it's 5-metre scrum.
It's pretty simple, isn't it?
I don't know. I'm not confused.
Beat the opposite man in front of you, run hard, don't get tackled, score more points than they do.
Don't let it go forward.
Yeah.
My fault.
Let's go, team.
Back we come. He's still on 2. Leicester still lead 19-7. Leone is on for Kyle Hatherell in this Leicester scrum. And Will Evans on for Harlequins for Chandler Cunningham South. Part of this defensive effort. Harlequins get an easier clearance.
Hear the celebration. That might... They can be sensible here. Just ease out that clock that's ticking in yellow. Should get the line-out ball here as long as they can win it. And then try and probably play down in Leicester's 22 off the resulting possession.
Well, this period is clearly the meat and two veg of the match, but it might be significant that try was disallowed, because if Leicester had scored, the game was gone, surely. But right now...
Well, it'd be miraculous if Quins can get back into this with 13 men.
Yeah, that's not helped them. Here's Woodward for Leicester. Pollard, beyond Stewart to Hassel Collins. Brought down by a determined Northmore. Ilioni. Full of chug. Stewart. Tackled this time by Beard. There's been nothing wrong with Quinn's midfield defence. Both have worked really hard. Catter away one-handed. Not quite the accuracy of a Ravovo, but still Ilioni. He's had some impact. Chesham. Pollard. And it's more the work in defence this time of Evans, knocked on.
Yep, no problem. Really good read from Evans. Blitzes out the line, gives him some line speed. Not only that, smashes Pollard.
It's clever Evans as well.
It's his hand.
Because when the ball comes back just after the whistle goes, he kicks the ball away, which will just buy him a bit of time. The clock's ticking down on that yellow card.
I don't want to sound like a broken record, but that's a penalty. His arm's out to the side. He knocks it down with his hand.
Can't say stuff like that. Come on. Come on, Julie. Come on.
And his arm's out in a straight line.
Yes, time off.
I'm sorry, but that point is not fair.
No,
you understand what? Like,
Hits his hand.
So we meet in the
I know I
middle,
sound like a broken record, Nick. I'm sorry, but it hits his hand. It's a knock-on. It's a Leicester Tigers scrum. Yeah, it's not a penalty, but I'm saying it's a Tigers scrum.
As we were saying, it's a simple game.
That's what he's given.
Well, I'm just
done.
I know, I'm just repeating what the ref said. You just try and work out how to say the word clock.
It's difficult when I'm sitting next to one.
It's close.
Next up, rugby-wise, we're going to have a scrum.
I'm going to take my time, please, staying up.
Let's go. Crouch.
Leicester leading by a dozen. Radwan's second try just before he thought he'd scored his third.
It's the first one.
Not sure what you're doing later on, but I hope you can stay with us for our tea time offering from the Gardens as we head into the Northampton huddle. Fraser Dingwall telling some old stories, and here come Bristol. That race for the top four, Saints not part of it anymore, but it feels like they could have a huge voice today.
A terrible time for Bristol to play them as well, because they'll want to build some momentum into that semi-final. They'll put out a strong side. They'll look to get some patterns going.
Leicester free kick, Van Poortvliet beyond Pollard to Woodward. Oh, Hassel-Collins, brilliant. 1, 2, 3, bang.
Van Poortvliet, he is coming into some of the best form we've seen him play. The speedy reaction to go quick, but then also the knowledge of the need to get wide early, and that long miss pass. And just get it to the pace when you've got the man advantage. Misses out Pollard. Pollard does really well not to bite at it.
Tries good.
Thanks, Ray.
And Hassel-Collins just has to finish. Brilliant from Woodward as well. The speed to transfer.
The old-fashioned double miss, executed with precision, is very difficult to defend, especially when you're down 2 men.
Yeah, try scored just before Tyrone Green was due to return from his yellow card.
You do get the sense if Quins had any chance of getting back into the game, that scrum, if it had gone the other way, they'd get back to 14, they'd have a chance.
Harlequins are bringing on Jamie Benson for Luke Northmore. Benson ostensibly
He's the one going off for the back
a fly half, so whether Marcus Smith is moving somewhere else. Luke Northmore is definitely off,
When you're ready,
and
Marcus.
Tyrone Green is back at fullback. Look at Murley working hard, but it was Chesham's ball. He runs into Launchbury, or rather Launchbury runs into him. Montosha.
Ball's out a long
By
time.
Liebenberg. Pollard. It's one to Chase. Quite from the fullback. Quins fly half winning it. Evans. Beard. Baxter. Oh, the strength to get up to the 10-metre line. Smith one-handed Launchbury. Skipping a jump from Oscar Beard. Lamasatelli. Chesham was over the top, working hard not to give away the penalty. Green and Benson tried to link up. Hassel-Collins with the kick. Tyrone Green will come under a lot of pressure, and then Pollard's there. He's outnumbered at the moment, but who got their hands on the ball first?
I wonder whether Tyrone Green almost let go of that and then regathered it on the floor.
Both seams the floor. Use
Under
it.
huge pressure, as you said. Don't want to go over the 22 to allow the kick directly into touch.
Use it. One more. No, he's using his foot.
Chesham. Some half a hand on that. On the bounce to Stewart. Radwan again up in support. Look at him, here he goes. The little road runner. Adam Radwan gone. Now he gets his hat-trick. Everyone on their feet. Radwan on his toes. Leicester on their way.
He enjoyed it, I enjoyed it, 25,000 people.
Tries good, buddy.
Mattioli Woods, Welford Road enjoyed it. That is a real finisher's try. Chris Ashton will be down after the match talking about how he would have done this in his dreams. But it was a sensational break, wasn't it, from Stewart? Gets to the outside, lovely little ball, inside, outside. He's actually caught on the inside of green, but still has the pace, the footwork to go round him. This will show us the angle. Look at him. Goes in, left foot, bang, accelerates away. That is a finisher's chat trick.
It's just run away from Quins, hasn't it? The try just before Green came back on, and now all that momentum with Leicester. To be able to have the pace, I know under huge pressure, but to stand the full-back up, not even get a touch on him. Aaron Reid scored a sensational try, length of the field from Fasale. Radwan there, just showing that ability and speed, and a big welcome for a very popular Tigers player.
Yeah, that roar is for him. At a place that has been home for so long. Ben Young's his 333rd game for his club. The most capped Englishman. But nothing lasts forever.
Use it!
And this season will be his last, he told us this week.
No!
Enjoy him while you can, folks. Young's clearing kick. Tyrone Green back with us on halfway. Still asking questions for Harlequins. Nagging sense that it's their season trickling away here. Match that they have to win. Smith early was interested for half a minute. Smith. Benson. Murray. Wyn Jones is with us. Smith a little bit further wide to Beard, who gives it even more width to find Dombrandt, who works hard to stay involved. There's Wyn Jones. Murray, Smith. Furthest wide on this near side right-hand side for Quins is George Hammond at the moment.
No!
Alex Dombrandt offering the weight away to the left. Maybe employed shortly. Here he is. And he's done well, and up until that point he'd done well. What are you looking at? Oh, it's Marcus Smith.
He took three hits in one there, Nick.
They're not going to win this game. Is there any point leaving him on the field?
Not with that ankle now. I think he's. They've used Benson. Who they've got left on the bench?
They've got no other backs to bring on. All they've got a tight-headed prop, a
He's
hooker,
in big pain there.
and Tom Lauday.
Worryingly, they're doing a syndesmosis test, which is a longer injury. They are also looking at all the ligaments, obviously, but.
See, Pollard or Liebenberg lands on the back of it, doesn't he, in the tackle? Then he gets hit on the floor afterwards as well. It's a collision from his own man.
No,
and then to make it worse, he gets kneed in the back of the head from Launchbury.
You watch, he actually rolls it the same way as he did before as well, on that inside. It's not your normal roll of an ankle where you roll to the outside of it.
I have no idea.
That's horrible.
No, not yet.
His season's unravelled, hasn't it?
Just recently had a stoppage.
Harlequin's season looks like it's unravelled. It's picture and piano Monday, end of season party, I think, for Quins. They've been so, at times, they've been amazing to watch. Go back to the coaching side of it. They can still score tries. They can score from anywhere, but boy, they've conceded some easy ones this season.
Problem is, Oz, they've not actually scored that many tries this season. 46, 47 now. Only Newcastle and Exeter have scored fewer.
The thing about Marcus Smith
4-man.
is he is always going to... I mean, all 10s will look better when they have a dominant pack on the front foot. Look how good George Ford has looked over the last few weeks as the Sale pack have been so strong. I think Marcus Smith in particular, if he doesn't have the time to do what his unique difference is, he's going to look like he's had a quiet season.
Ilioni took it in and then cleared away by Ben Youngs.
Tigers on the line.
It's been some week for him. 19th season will be his last. He was saying this week that actually he nearly went at the end of last season, but was persuaded to stay on by Michael Cheika. He says now that he cannot give what this job deserves, what it requires to stay at the top and to push standards as well. And it's not this, it's not the match, it's the bit that goes around the match.
Yeah, it's weird. It's often your courage that runs out first. You take 3 or 4 months off, you'll get to September and you'll feel actually really quite healthy, hopefully. And then you think, oh, did I make the right decision?
Ball's this side. Quinn's players slowing it down.
I've actually known him for a while, Nick. He's coming on holiday with me in August, so he must have been retiring.
Green.
That'll be fun for him.
Yep. Well, he's carrying my bags, Ben. It's the only way he got the trip.
Here's Murley.
No! Well done.
Nathan Jabulu heading north of here at the end of the season. He's joining Sale. How well he played coming off the bench last weekend. Smith, it stayed flat.
Was that a tackle in the air? Yeah.
Tackle in the air. Careful. He just hops up.
Look at where he lands.
He's
Gets his
allowed to
arms
jump for
down,
that, yeah.
doesn't he?
It's very high.
What's the difference there?
It's George
not
Hammond
dangerous.
who came
That's
down
not dangerous.
awkwardly,
He just
painfully.
He just hops up and he lands safely.
Yeah, he lands on his shoulder, not on his head.
Yeah.
What a kick that is from that angle.
12 green.
Penalty was what,
12
2 metres from the touchline?
Jamie Benson, fly half door, opening with Jared Evans out injured,
Thank you.
and that's what he can do.
I like the look of this kid. We've not seen much of him now. We've only seen him like 4 or 5 times, obviously the game at Tottenham, but he looks to have all the component parts to be a really good rugby player. Reminds me a bit of Finn Smith, actually.
There have been too many loose knots from a Quinn's point of view in most parts of the pitch today, Ben.
He'll
There's
attract
another.
the attention of other clubs because they'll feel that he might just think, well, I can't sit behind Marcus Smith all my life. So he definitely will be on the radar of other clubs.
If he is to be persuaded to join another club, he's going to have to get out of his contract. Re-signed with Quinn's earlier this month. Leicester on the search for a fly half. Probably won't be Benson.
I think they probably have to secure their coach first because he will want to have a say in the sort of 10 that Leicester are going to have next season.
They will have noticed that the former All Black fullback Leon McDonald added to the whispers this week. The New Zealander.
It's Benson with the turnover, isn't it?
Don't fire away.
Oh, is it off?
No. Oh. You know it's not. If you're coming to me, Tigers
15
on the
minutes
line,
to go.
please.
Leicester have secured the try-scoring bonus
Marcus.
point. Kind of think they've secured the win. What a
Hold on, you're
Harlequins
making a change.
have to offer.
Time off.
Change.
Marcus.
Tom Lauday is coming on. Tom Lauday for Marcus Smith. Not the replacement you see every week of the season, but that right ankle that has been in the wars since the opening few minutes here in Leicester.
Don Brandt going into the centres, I think.
7.
I was hoping Lauday was going to go to 10. I think Don Brandt could probably play 10, actually.
And there he is. And there's the risk of the 6-2 split between backs and forwards. Launchbury waits. Instead it's Jamie Benson. Launch free. Hammond leaves it. It was knocked on.
Unfortunately, Nick, this game's died, hasn't it? Leicester know that they've won, Quins know they've lost. Leicester are starting to think about what can come in the coming weeks. Quins are starting to think about their fancy dress outfits for Monday.
That bonus point, particularly after Sale rather unfortunately didn't get theirs last night. It looked like they'd scored a try, but the referee just blew his whistle too early. And that just takes Leicester 3 points ahead of Sale if they see this game out, which we all imagine they will. Bristol still to play against Saints later.
Charlie Clare and James Whitcomb on for Nicky Smith and Julian Montoya.
Crouch! Down, up, down. Bind! Set!
Huge game next time the Leicester play in the Premiership against
Big
Sale.
win from you guys, and then they've come through there as well.
Latest score from the Rec, by the way. Newcastle were winning 19-17 early in the second half. They're not anymore. Bath have just scored again. They scored 55, and they are finishing top, and they will be at home in the semi-final. And that is full time, 55-19 final score.
You put the kiss of death on Newcastle there, didn't you? Commentator's curse. Said they had a good chance.
Didn't say that.
Yeah, you did. Play it back, I heard it.
Advantage.
That's the penalty. Dan Young was waiting for it. Takes it.
Across and up.
What do Quins need? Let's start to look ahead to next season, because as much as they won't be as a bunch of players yet, we can, and I'm sure fans will be. What do Quins need to be consistently challenging, not just for the top four, but making the top four regularly?
Less injuries in the season. They've had a lot, probably more than most. I think they played with a fitness level when they won the title that was just unseen, so they've got to start setting new benchmarks in terms of their fitness. Maybe look to a new midfield slightly. And also, just make less mistakes in games. It's been their downfall.
Billy Millard, the director of rugby, is off to Connacht at the end of the season. So there will be some fresh voices, you'd imagine, fresh eyes in the coaching department, going alongside all the experience that Danny Wilson brings. Shilcock off the bench into the action. Likewise Young's. Kata. Clare. James Whitcomb not far away. Whitcomb leaving at the end of the season. News this week that he signed a 3-year deal with Edinburgh. Stewart tries to find Hassel Collins.
Knock on by Quins into touch. Okay. So it's gone first.
Assistant Jamie Lee on this near side, just making sure that the team that deserved the possession needed the possession. Actually, that's Jack Makepeace. I need to work on my
yes, please.
Premiership assistant referee's back of head view. There's Jamie Lee. Much easier when you can see their faces. He's going, what have I done? Why am I on the big screen? Wasn't my fault. It was the idiot commentator, Jamie, who got you mixed up with him.
Their scrum. Their scrum. We good?
We're talking of where Leicester are going between now and the end of the regular season. Huge, huge, for a third time, huge game here against Sale in 2 weeks.
Right,
and then they go to the Rec. Bath now sure of a home semi-final. And the final game of Leicester's regular season here against the Falcons.
Let's go.
I think the Sale game becomes Leicester's final, pre-final, because they win that, they're in the top four. will take them to 56 points, 54, 55 if they only get 4 points. So I think that is a massive game for them, and equally for Sale. You know, they've got Newcastle to come in the last game of the season. They're not easy to play against, but probability would say that you'd beat them here at home. And then the Bath game away, maybe you can afford to rest a lot of your players, depending on how the rest of that top 4 starts to look. So it gives Michael Check and the rest of his coaches quite a lot of flexibility if they win that Sale game. If they don't, then they've got to get something from Bath.
You'll have noticed that table as well now has a big Q next to Bath's name. They are guaranteed a home semi-final. Catter! Oh, he can still go. He kicked it, and Benson was aware of the remaining threat.
No, he dropped it onto his knee, didn't he? That's a knock-on.
Ah, it's a...
Here you go, what?
Out here, yeah? Oh, further, okay.
He was trying to do a Campese. Yeah.
He was through as well, wasn't he?
Harlequins, by the way, big match for them, certainly in terms of stature, numbers at the Allianz Stadium at Twickenham. In a fortnight, the big Stoop, Gloucester are coming to town in the big summer kickoff, and then they have Exeter at the Stoop before finishing at Ashton Gate, Bristol away.
Yeah, how do you get yourself up for that Gloucester game, other than the fact there's a huge crowd down there at the stadium? I mean, it's difficult, isn't it? They know that their season's over. They know that they're going to qualify for Europe. So what's left? And then as a player, a lot of these guys are carrying a lot of injuries at this stage. It's very difficult.
Leicester dominant in so many areas now. Catter. He's had a brilliant game. Solomona Catter. That late yellow card at Ashton Gate a week ago that made the closing minutes a little bit spikier than they might have been. And then charging through, and Leicester looking for more. This is Kelly keeping his feet. Can he get it down? There's the answer.
Oh, Tyrone Green. This is brilliant.
Time off.
Good
At no
interplay.
point have I seen it grounded.
Wells does really well.
Okay, so shall we just ask for try yes or no?
Yeah, just try yes or no.
Where is he?
Yeah, got you. Try yes or no, yeah.
Try yes or no. I've never seen it grounded.
Yeah, just bear with me.
Thank you.
Comes through Murray. Just stumbles slightly, and that allows Green to get in on the ball. He does so well to tie it up. I don't think that's a try. I don't think that can be given.
No.
Would he?
Yeah.
No, he's held up.
Well, Austin, you asked what Harlequins players need to do in a fortnight when they play that big summer kickoff at Twickenham. That's what they have to do. They've got to play like that, play like it still means something.
And you can say that as much as you like, Nick, but down to the players to truly believe it. Yes, a shot window. Yeah, you've got to be true to the shirt and the club. But equally, you know, if you're playing with broken fingers or you've got bruised ribs, it's really tough.
It's not getting any easier, this, for Quins as Ilioni goes on the charge. Jabulu tried to win it back, but there are numbers here again, as there will be. Rafael. Every single time now it seems that Leicester are going through the tackle. Evans flying up, still Leicester. Behind Clare, once more Kelly, fed by Shilcock. Radwan looking for more on that far right-hand side. He's already got 3. It might be 1 for Liebenberg. Hammer Liebenberg. Another standout, high-energy, influential effort today. And Leicester are running away with this, and it's a rather sorry Quins, and you are full of sympathy. The red card, the big injury, the yellow card, but Leicester are in ruthless mode.
Well, the team aspect has gone for Harlequins. They're all looking within themselves and thinking, I just wish this game would end, and unfortunately the defence, as a result, is suffering from that. Leicester winning every collision, not getting into position quite quickly enough, and it's just all that momentum that's against Harlequins. Leicester finishing off in style. Only slight problem for them. Harry Wells there, you can see, pulled up lame in the backfield.
So sorry. Probably should have passed it though.
Yeah, Leicester have emptied their bench as well, so we will end 14 aside. Conversion good. And Leicester into the roaring 40s.
Okay.
Stepped out of a few tackles, Kelly, hasn't he? He's come on, keeps a leg drive going. I think the whole stadium was waiting for a show and go from Ben Youngs, though, aren't they?
Ilioni. He's not hung around since coming on Amika Ilioni. Liebenberg. A little more than 5 minutes to go.
Thanks, mate.
There aren't, in truth, that many Premiership games over the course of the season where you do feel as if you're going through the motions a little bit, but it's felt a bit like that the last 15-20 minutes here since Leicester scored those quick-fire tries from the two wingers again, Hassel-Collins and Radwan, who've dominated this from a try-scoring perspective. Wins initially down to 13, now down to 14 have worked hard, but really beyond that, Northmore intercept on the brink of half-time. There have not been too many bright moments. Jabulu out as forwards. So, player of the match, who's got that job today?
Look, Jack van Poortvliet has been absolutely outstanding today in terms of how he set up Leicester, but when you score a hat-trick as good as Adam Radwan's, I think you have to give it there. Brilliant final try for him. The one at the beginning where he lifted his feet to dive in at the corner. So he is our Gallagher player of the match.
I said it last night in commentary, Nick. As we go into these latter parts of the season, the back threes of teams are going to become more and more important because opportunities are going to become fewer and far between. Reed last night, brilliant. Radwan today, brilliant. Roebuck on the other side, really good. The sides that are winning games, their back threes are getting the upper hand. Hassel-Collins, another really good game. These guys have got big parts to play.
Good as well at the back, is really safe and secure. Obviously took those high balls and got tipped, but bounced straight back up. Particularly when Marcus Smith was trying to pepper him early on with those high balls, and that changes the tactics of the opposition.
I just think back to the season's gone, actually. You know, Hendy getting man of the match in the final. A moment of brilliance could well be the difference between the top four sides that we see finish this year.
So under advantage.
There's Kelly's kick. Kelly's gather. Shilcock. Hassel-Collins with more work to do. So too Murley did well.
Luther collapse.
But Leicester were playing with the advantage.
I do hate that. I do hate that advantage that can go back that far. He's right to do it. That's how the game is refereed. You basically get a free, complete shot.
Oh, sorry, man.
I'm going to slide in front. Meet me like 6-7.
Thanks, mate.
Two minutes to go. The match was won a while ago. Leicester still hunting more points. Who knows, points difference may play a part, although the way things are going, they're going to win enough proper points to get there. Hassel-Collins, no.
Out still live. Yeah. No more.
Interesting debate, pub chat,
no, line out. Your line
signings
out.
Of the season. And as much as he was mid-season, he's made a difference to Leicester.
Yeah, he has, yeah. He's given them a balance, hasn't they, in their back play. Both sides of the ball defensively. Like last week when I watched Hassel-Collins and Radwan on the wing, I just thought, wow, they've just made Bristol really struggle to get round them. And that's worth a lot. I mean, there's been some other good signings as well, hasn't there?
Yeah, line up one by Kenningham and or head in hands Dombrant. The frustration of all this now, and Kelly still full of running, and so too Stewart, and almost inevitably Radwan not far away, but Quins will at least thought they were going to win that ball back. Not quite. Instead, Shilcock for Leicester. Young's bouncing ball gathered by Solomon Akata. 80th minute. Quins having played the bulk of this second half. A man down, sometimes two men down. The red card to the injured Cameron Anderson, Tyrone Green's yellow. That was the turning point. That was the moment that, despite Quins' try just before half-time, the match began to drift away from them, and drift away quickly.
Knock on advantage.
Ball claimed by Dombrant. Leicester heading to their biggest ever win against Harlequins since 2000. Or maybe Jabulo can say something about that. And oh! Well, if ever a moment sums up Quins' day, it's that for poor old Jake Murray. Let's adorn that with no more words. Poor lad with his head in his hands, he knows. Leicester elevating themselves back up to second. Bang on course for the playoffs with 3 games of the regular season left. Harlequin season, sadly for them, toast. Final score at Mattioli Woods, Welford Road. Leicester 40, Harlequins 7.